Let me go ahead and explain the question here. We want to find the area of this small square, this one right here, and it's inside of this larger square. And the only information that we have is that the midpoint of the diagonal, in other words, from here to here is the diagonal of the larger square, but the midpoint, or this length right here, halfway through the diagonal, is 6 units long. Okay, so again, we want to find the area of that small square, and this is all the information that we have. Again, the midpoint of the diagonal is 6 units long. Well, if we can figure this out, if you can calculate the area of this small square, go ahead and put your answer into the comment section, and feel free to use a calculator as well. Of course, I'm going to show you how to solve this problem. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into the actual solution. And first, we need a strategy, right? So how can we determine the area of this small square right here? Well, it's probably a good idea to understand what the formula for the area of a square is. So the area of a square is side squared. Okay, in other words, if I know this side and this side, if I multiply this side times this side, of course, the lengths are the same in a square, that is going to be the area. So that is the area of, of a square. That's the formula. Of course, we're going to have to calculate this area in just 1 second. But how do we get this length? We're looking for this length and this length. How can we possibly get this length if we only have this piece of information right here, that the midpoint through the diagonal? Again, this line from here to here is called the diagonal of a square. And we're told that the midpoint, or halfway through, is 6 units. Well, we need to kind of take a closer look at what's going on here. And in a square, the angles in a square are 90 degrees. So all of these right here are right angles. So now the diagonal splits this 90 degrees, right? So a diagonal is chopping through that 90 degrees. So 1/2 of 90 degrees is going to be equal to 45 degrees. So what we have here is a 45-degree angle, and this is also a 45-degree angle, and this is a right angle right here. So let's just kind of pay attention to this little triangle above this small square, and if we can determine the lengths of the sides of this triangle right here, okay, well then we will have actually determined the side of this small square. Okay, so let's go ahead and focus in our efforts on figuring out the sides of this small triangle, because we do have the hypotenuse of this small right triangle. Okay, so again, if we can get this side, then we can determine the area of this square in this problem. So anytime you're dealing with a math problem, whether it's an algebra problem or a geometry problem, you have to look at the problem, study the problem, and there's different ways to approach the problem. Okay, this particular problem can be done or solved in various ways, so you need a strategy. Okay, so pick a strategy that works. Of course, if you don't understand the properties of the diagonal in a square, or how to find the area of a square, you're not going to be able to figure this thing out. Okay, so let's go ahead and just kind of think about this problem in terms of this way. So we have this small triangle. Okay, so this one right here is this triangle. Okay, so I'm just going to break this out so we can kind of concentrate on this. So these angles right here are the same. So this is a 45-degree angle, 45-degree angle. So we have 45, 45, 90. Now that's important to understand, because this is what we call a special right triangle. Okay, so there's some things that we know about a 45, 45 degree, or 45, 45, 90 degree. But one thing that we definitely know about this triangle is that it is a right triangle. So what should come to mind? Well, the Pythagorean theorem, a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared. Anytime you see a right triangle, this is probably one of the first things that should pop into your head. Now, if you're not familiar with the Pythagorean theorem, I'm going to show you how it works in just 1 second, because this is going to be a big part of how we solve this problem. Okay, so again, what we want to do here is see if we can find this length x. Okay, of course, it's going to be the same side, because when you have a 45, 45, 90 degree right triangle, the sides are congruent. Okay, so if we can find what x is equal to, Then we can kind of go back over here to our triangle, right? I mean, our square, excuse me. So here, because the top of this small triangle, let's focus in here so no one is confused. Matter of fact, let me erase this. Okay, so right here, okay, if we can find this length, which of course is going to be the same length as this will be actually the side of the square. So this, we're going to call this x because you don't know what this is, but this x will be the same as the side of the square, and we want to find the area of that small square, so this is going to be x times x, or x squared. Okay, so really what we're trying to do here is figure out what x squared is equal to, because that will be the area of the small square. Are you struggling in math because of confusing lessons? Maybe the teacher's not showing you all the steps you need, or things are happening too fast. Well, there is a better way. So come on over to my math help program at tcmathacademy.com. There you'll find clear step-by-step instruction by me that will definitely make a huge difference in your math success. So make sure to check out all my courses by following the links in the description. Okay, so again, our objective here is to determine what x is equal to. So we have x, this is our little small triangle here. We know the hypotenuse, which is the midpoint of that diagonal, is 6. So if we could solve for x, then we can figure this problem out. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to what I stated in the beginning of this video, and we're talking about right triangles. One of your biggest things that you always want to kind of rely on when you see a right triangle is the Pythagorean theorem. Now, the Pythagorean theorem is not going to solve every single problem that you're going to have with a right triangle, but it's absolutely necessary that you think of it, because you could definitely use it, and probably the majority of the times when you have a right triangle problem, you're going to have to use the Pythagorean theorem. So let's just talk about this real quick. You can see I have this work laid out, but let's make sure we understand what's going on here. So we have a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared. What does this mean? Well, okay, matter of fact, let me just erase this here real quick. So a and b are the shorter sides of a right triangle. Now, of course, in this particular case, because we're dealing with the 45-45 degree, 45-45, 90-degree right triangle, these are actually the same length. But oftentimes, you'll have a right triangle, something like this, where they're not. But that's not important what side you call A, what side you call B. These are the lengths of this side. All you need to remember is that the longest side of a right triangle is the variable c. That's called the hypotenuse, okay? Okay, now what does this state, the Pythagorean theorem? Well, what it's saying is if we square this side, then we add it to the square of this side, it's going to be equal to the square of the longest side, or the hypotenuse. And that's what this is saying. So this works in every single right triangle. And of course, we can use it to solve this triangle. So this side is x, and this side is x, and this side right here is 6. This is the hypotenuse. So this is going to be c, and this one or this one can be a or b, doesn't make a difference. So let's go ahead and plug in our respective information to figure this problem out. Okay, so a squared, we'll call that x squared, plus b squared, we'll call that another x squared, is equal to c squared, which of course will be 6 squared. All right, so x squared plus x squared is going to be 2x squared. 6 squared is 36. So let's go ahead and solve. And we're looking at this equation. This is actually a quadratic equation. And some of you might be focused in on here, like, oh, I got to solve for x, because your algebra mind is taking over. You're like, all right, I'm going to solve for x, but we don't really even need to solve this equation fully, okay? Now, on our way to solve for x, what we have to do is divide both sides of the equation here by 2. And when we do that, we get x squared is equal to 18. Now, some of you are going to be inclined to want to take the square root of both sides and solve this equation for x. But is that important? Well, no, it's not important, because remember, we're looking for the area of that small squared, and that is equal to x squared. Okay, we don't need x. We could find x, but all we're going to have to do is multiply by x again to get back to x squared. So if you are paying attention to the strategy, you'll be like, wait a minute here, I don't have to take that next step. Why do more math work if you don't have to? And there is our lovely solution. X squared is equal to 18, which of course is the area of that small square. Okay, so, hopefully you found this problem interesting. And the whole idea behind a problem like this is to teach you something or to practice, give you some practice and things you already know. Now, if you're interested in learning more geometry, let me give you a couple suggestions. You can find a link to my full geometry course in the description below. I also have a ton of videos like this on my YouTube channel. But if you don't want to learn like a full geometry course, and my full geometry course will take most students about 1 year long. Check out my other courses. You'll find them in the description of this video. But, I have a lot of other courses where I don't teach as much geometry, but I do focus in on some basic, things that I think all math students should know. Things about triangles, circles, squares, polygons. But, wherever you're at in mathematics, here's the thing. If you don't practice math, you're not going to get better at it. So anyways, with all that being said, I definitely wish you all the best in your mathematics adventures. Thank you for your time and have a great day.